Hello, everybody. It's Melanie from Hometown Paints, and I'm so excited to be here today. It's finally the day. So, I'm glad y'all are here. How are y'all doing? All that good stuff. I am going to teach you guys this fun, very easy version of the American flag. And while I'm teaching it, I'm going to talk about ways that you could paint a version of this for if you don't live in America. I was thinking about the British flag and different countries. Like, there's ways you could do this with your own country's flag, and I still think it would be really, really cool. And if you do that, definitely show me a picture. But anyways, I'm gonna teach this today, and I think I figured out technology like a little bit, and watch this not work. All right, so now I'm small. Okay, so I originally painted this on a board, like piece of wood. Let me put that down there. And I put the dimensions of this board on the supply list sheet, but guess what I don't have today? Another board this size. So we're gonna do it on a canvas, which I think is totally fine because most people have canvases rather than boards. Anyways, let me see if I can move this just a tad so I can get everything on there. Me and technology, if you've been following me, you know that it is not my favorite. Hey, Samantha. Oh, cool. I'm so excited. All right. And look, I was trying to be like Karen and write all this on a piece of paper, but you can't see it. So let me remind you that to join the contest, like, there's different things you can share, but when you share it, to make sure, let me get it up there, make sure you use this hashtag, okay? And I am Hometown Paint, so if you want to tag me, I think you get a little extra, I don't know. Look, we'll talk about that in a minute, but this is all my stuff that you need to know. All right, and I think I'm actually gonna have to move this so y'all can really see. All right, so I just have an 11 by 14 canvas. So any rectangular canvas will do for this. And I'm just taking a normal pencil because I'm not doing a tracer because I think we can draw this out pretty easily. And I want you to kind of eyeball the middle of one side and then go over here to this side and kind of eyeball the middle of that. Now, you know that you've seen the American flag before, and it doesn't really, like, this blue part doesn't really come all the way out to the middle, does it? It kind of like is just a little bit inside of the middle. So I hope you can see this. I might need to get the Sharpie out. Can you see that? So I don't know, about a half, maybe somewhere between a half an inch and an inch over, I'm going to draw the blue part. I'm going to draw that little rectangle in. So wherever you think your rectangle needs to be, see how I did that? Just, that's where you put it. Because we're actually going to come out of this a little bit. Here's the other thing I'm going to do. I'm going to extend this line. And then in the middle, I'm going to draw a line. Because this is definitely not realistic. I think it has 5 stripes. So don't worry about realism here. It's not my thing. I'm going to try to fit 3 lines in here. So let's see. And they're not even. They're not the same distance apart. So I'm going to guess about 2 inches. I'm just like drawing short, choppy lines. And then I'm just going to divide this space in half in my mind and try to draw a line. All right, so that's not perfect. You can see the wavy lines. You can see that it's not perfect. And we don't care. We don't care about perfection because It's unattainable, right? Okay, so if you're using a board, you do the same thing. Just draw it on there. Hey, Jeannie. Oh, I forgot to say that I'm using a program to stream today that is called StreamYard. And StreamYard, well, Facebook wants you to give StreamYard permission to show me your name. So all you have to do that is to, like, there's a little link or description or something at the top of this live. If you click on it, it's real quick. It just gives, and you go over there and say, yes, it's okay for Facebook to show my name. Then I can see who's talking to me. Otherwise, it says Facebook users. Like if you've never done that, that's what it says. So if I don't call your name out, that's why. But thank y'all. Hi, everybody. Thank y'all for talking to me. I appreciate it. All right, here's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with desert sand. Let me put it up there. Deco art, acrylic, and I just use a paper plate for a paint palette. I should probably get one of those plastic ones, but I don't like to wash things. I've got a wide brush, like a wide flat brush, and it's about 1 inch, but you know, any flat brush will do right here. And I'm just gonna start this second one, not the top one. I want the top one to be red. So we're just gonna start filling this in. And it really doesn't matter what brush you have right here, but I'm using this big brush because it's gonna put a lot of paint on my canvas quickly. And that's all I'm really worried about. We're just filling it in right now. Nothing fancy. So I got it filled in. And I'm going to go around to the sides because I don't want my sides to not have paint on them. All right, we've got that done. Now I'm going to get out the brown paint. I never know where to hold it. All right, I've got Deco Art Raw Umber. I believe that I told you guys to get burnt umber, but here's the deal. It doesn't matter. Just get some brown paint. It doesn't matter if it's this brand or, you know, whatever. Okay, so I haven't washed this brush out. It still has that paint in it. I'm going to get some of this brown paint on my brush. And what I'm going to do is, like, real lightly just kind of put down some messy little, you can keep dipping back into the brown, messy little lines. You can even kind of like do this deal because it's supposed to look like wood grain. And you might be thinking, well, that didn't really look like wood grain. This is a trick to fool your eye. All right, so I haven't washed my brush out. I'm going to dip back into this beige color. And I'm just going to take my brush and just pull it through what I just did. And then it's still got beige on it. I'm going to pull it through this way. I'm going to pull it through this way. So see what that does? It kind of gives more of an illusion of that it's a piece of wood. Right? Isn't that cool? Somebody said we don't like perfection in painting. Definitely. Well, I don't. I'm glad you don't either. Nikki said, I did this a little different and painted it on a piece of wood so I could put it outside on a... Oh, that's cool, Nikki. I'd love to see a picture. All right, well, I just washed my brush out, but it was unnecessary. All right, so my other stripe that's this color is, so skip one because that's red, and then this one here is going to be beige. So we're just going to do the same thing, you guys. Just fill it in with beige. So like last night, I have ideas when I'm trying to go to sleep, and really just need to be going to sleep. But I was thinking last night, and maybe because I've been watching like all this stuff with the Queen, like this would be cool on a British flag because it's the same colors, and if you can draw the British flag out, like just whatever section you choose, like I don't know, like you could do the red parts with red flowers, or if you've got, I'm trying to think of a different country, like is it Ireland that has like green and white and orange? Like you could do orange flowers in one section. I don't know. It's got me thinking about flowery flags. And now I need to paint all the countries. All right, so I've got that filled in. I'm going to dip back into my brown and just start like randomly putting some marks in there. And remember, you can kind of do some round, I don't know, some round spots a little bit. Kind of looks like a knot in the wood. And then I'm going to not wash my brush out, grab some more of the beige color, and just drag straight across. And drag straight across, and drag straight across. And if you do this and you don't like the way it looks, as always, with every acrylic painting that I've ever done in my life, you can let it dry and paint over it later. Oh, hey, Karen. Oh, yes, I know. I wish it didn't make you give permission because I'm always like, hello, I don't know you. Lori said, I have been intimidated by painting. Oh, it moved. For years, creators like you have made my creative side grow and thrive. Lori, that means the world to me. Thank you so much for sharing that. Like it really does. Because everybody can paint. It does not matter if you are Vincent van Gogh. None of us are. It doesn't matter how good it is. It's going to make you feel better. Like just playing with the paint and creating something, like it really does help your mood. And even if your significant other doesn't like it, no, they probably will. Even if somebody's like, I don't know about that, you just say, I don't need your negativity in my life. I love my beautiful artwork. I'm being silly, but you just have fun. That's what it's about. Have fun. That's why we don't worry about it being perfect, because worrying about things being perfect sucks the fun right out of it. My husband's going to the store, so he's waving at me. I said, you go to the store while I'm doing this. All right. I have squirted out, and I'm not telling you what I'm doing. Primary red and this crimson color. Let me try to put it up. It's like a burgundy wine color. Try not to drop it. And then a red. I don't care which ones that you use. I don't remember which one I used. I might have used both of them. But use them both. Use either one. Do whatever makes you happy right here. All right, I washed all that beige out of my brush. It's still damp. I'm going to dry it off a little bit. Thought I forgot to start my time lapse, but I did it. Somebody says, I can't wait to do this today. I like to watch first and then create. I'm too slow to do it with you. That is a good point. I'm not sure what your name is, but yes, we all of us creators probably paint a little quicker than the average Joe because we do this all the time, right? So we kind of get used to it, which, even if we are not a quick painter, we've only got an hour, so we have to get it done. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's totally fine. I do the same thing. I still take classes online. I like to learn from different people. And, sometimes thinking of your own original painting is kind of stressful sometimes. So sometimes it's nice just to sit down and follow directions. But I'll do that too. Because when you play it back on the replay, you can pause it and fast forward it if you didn't know that. And that is a huge benefit when you're doing anything. All right, so I use both those colors, and I kind of like that color. And I just filled it in. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to not wash our brush. We're going to dip back into the brown, and we're going to do the same kind of thing. Put that wood grain in there, however you want to put it. And then I'm going to dip back into my red and pull the red through here. I just think that looks cool. Very cool. All right, so this one's red. So yeah, definitely come back and watch. I think if you sprinkle the videos, you get entered into the contest too, I think. I can't remember all the rules. Lori said it feeds her art and soul. Fun times. Yes. I used to be an art teacher, but I quit a couple of years ago. My mom was sick with cancer, which she's fine now. But, you know, during the pandemic, when we couldn't leave our house, I just painted every day. Like, I already was painting anyways, but I painted way more during that time than I ever had. And it did just keep me a little more positive, I think, than people who weren't doing something creative. I guess. I don't know. I felt good. I can't tell you what other people felt like. As good as you could, anyways. All right, there's my other stripe. So get some more brown on there. Check my time. I'm doing okay. And then run my red back over. Looking good already. And do this one red. And fill it in. I actually just recently went to Washington, D.C. with my family. I've got 2 boys, and a husband, and none of us had ever been. My son's super duper big history buff, and we like to go to national parks because we have one of those national park passport books. So any national monument or park or I don't know, anything that's like national, you can go there and get a stamp. So a few years ago, I kind of became obsessed with going to national parks. So Washington, D.C. has its own like section in that book. So I was like, we have to go there. But it was awesome. We got to see so many things and do so many things, and my boys loved it. And I don't know, it just has me feeling patriotic. Because it was kind of cool. We got on the metro, which I live near Nashville, Tennessee, so we don't have anything like that. Hey, Indu. We don't have anything like that. Wish we did. You don't have like a subway system or anything like that. Public transit. And so we were a little like hesitant. But I'm like, we can do this. We know how to read. We can figure this out. Come on, let's do it. So we get down there, and we had to ask the little guy working a few questions. And my husband was like asking him a million questions. And he said to us after a minute, stick my finger in that. He said, "This is your capital. This is your capital." And I was like, okay. And he said, do you pay federal income tax? And I said, well, yeah. And he said, then this is you pay for this. This is your country. This is your capital. This is your metro system. And I was like, oh, well, that makes me feel better about this. That makes me feel like I belong here. So I was like, I don't know. I'd never thought about it that way. So it was cool. All right. So now let's see. Hopefully you have everything covered. And we're going to let that part dry a little bit. And I'm trying to remember what I did next. Okay. Get out navy blue. I have grabbed a folk art navy blue, but as usual, it does not matter. I also meant to say that I'm streaming this on Hometown Paints and Creatives Coast to Coast, both on Facebook and also on YouTube. So wherever you're viewing me from, if you're not in that Creatives Coast to Coast group, make sure that you jump over there and on Facebook and like join that page, because this is happening all day, like, well, till 4 o'clock, I think. We've already had 2 presenters and we've got, I don't know, a handful more after I go. So if you're just watching me for the first time on one of those pages, or you don't know what I'm talking about, go over to the Creatives Coast to Coast page and then you can watch this kind of stuff all day long. I'm using a medium-sized brush, and this is actually a round brush, but I tell you, it doesn't matter. You could use an angled brush. You could use a flat brush. You could use, I don't know, just something that has a little bit of width to it, a little bit of substance to it, not like a teeny tiny liner brush, not a great big flat brush. So the medium-sized brush. And I got my navy out. And what I'm going to do is just kind of like draw in some circles about where I want those roses to be. So I want to fill this space for sure. I want to fill the side. I'm probably just going to paint the side in a little bit. But I don't, like, I want them different sizes. They don't have to necessarily be in a straight line. Just kind of get them in there. If they end up in straight lines, then that's fine. But I like them to be a little bit all over the place. That makes me happy. And I do want to overlap the reds a little bit, or the lines a little bit. So they're not really circles, but they're kind of circular shaped. And I'm just going to brush on some blue on the sides in a messy way while we're at it. All right. All right, we're going to call that done for now. And now I'm going to wash that blue out of my brush and let that hang out for a minute. And I'm going to grab my greens. So I have 2 different shades of green. I've got a Hauser medium green and then a Hauser light green, which are both deco art. But again, use whatever you have. Just try to find 2 different shades of green. Hey, Angie. Thanks, girl. I hope you paint it. It's not super hard. And I've taught you all these flowers like a million times. I love to paint these flowers. They are easy and they look pretty and everybody can do it. All right, so I thought about using that same brush, but I think I'm going to go ahead and switch to a little liner brush. I don't know whether to call this a liner brush or just a really small round brush, but it's about the same deal. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that in between all these roses or all these circles that canvas isn't showing. We want to just put some green in there. So wherever, don't put it in the middle of the circle, put it in between the circles. Just kind of blob it in there. You won't even really notice it that much when you're done with this, but if it's not there, you'll see a big white spot. Just picking up some of that green and just kind of like setting it in there. And we might paint over some of it later, and that's fine. I think that's enough. No, it's not. All right, so we've got the middle. Let me see if I can pick this up without making a complete mess. See what I did there? Just like in between the circles where there was white showing, I just filled it in with green. Angie's definitely painting this. That is exciting. All right, so using my darker green, I'm just going to go around this edge and start putting in some leaves. Now, my leaves that I do a lot are not super complicated. They're just kind of like football shaped, like half a football, sort of, kind of. So just draw them on there real fast and fill them in. And then, now we're going to wait on that. Because actually, maybe I should have done this other part first. Let's go do this other part. Welcome to me forgetting steps. That's what I do. All right, let's let this dry for a minute because we need to do that anyways. And go back to the flag part and add some more distressing in, okay? I'm going to go back to my big wide brush and I'm going to get some more brown. And what I'm going to do this time, let's see if I can get it over here. Yeah, okay, there's brown on it. I'm going to put it on the side of the canvas, and then I'm just going to like flick, like pull it up and over and just kind of flick. And I'm going to do that all the way down the side. You can see it better in the beigey color. Can y'all see that? The difference it makes when you do that? It just starts to like make it look more rustic a little bit. You might have to wipe your brush off. Everything's still super wet. You can kind of pull it, make these parts as long as you want them to be. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Looks distressed. That's what we're going for. That's what we're doing. All right, we're going to do it on this side. Just put that brush down on the side and kind of flick it over onto the top. All right, what else did I do? Okay, I think now is when, nope, let's do this. All right, get your black paint out. You just need a little bit of it. and use your little bitty brush, the little bitty liner brush. And because we are looking for that distressed look, this is how I did this. I am gonna put a little black line in between all my stripes. I am barely pushing this brush down. Just the tip is touching the canvas. It's kind of wavy. Let me see if I can hold it up. It's kind of wavy. It's not perfect. And that's okay. If you people want perfection, you could use a ruler or tape this stuff off, or I don't know. I can't even think of anything because I don't ever do it. I'm just barely touching with the tip of my brush. I'm moving my whole arm, not just, I'm moving like at my elbow, not moving my wrist, if that makes sense. And that helps you get a straighter line. And if you push down a lot, it's just going to give you a wider line. Like if you use the tip, then ideally it will be just a tad thinner than if you really push down on the brush. Y'all are probably chatting and I can't look at it. I also brace my arm when I do this kind of thing. Like mine's braced against the table. Like we were doing a paint party the other day in person and I was telling them to like hold their pinky out and like touch the canvas and do it that way. Like if you can brace your arm somehow, it will just help you get a straighter line. I don't know why, but it does. All right, so we got our black in there. And we're not too stressed about it. Are those rocks in the left corner and green around them? I've never done them before. They're not rocks, but they do look like a hot mess right now. They are going to be flowers. But we are just like on our first stage of them. And the green stuff is greenery. So yeah, we'll get there. What did Karen say? I can't see it. All right, I'll keep on. Okay, so the thing that I really like to do is to use the palette knife. And you can probably tell because it's messy. The way to really distress the rest of this thing up is to get your palette knife, whatever kind you have. You could use a business card. You could use an old gift card, but get some paint on the back of it. And you're just going to like lightly scrape. So I've used brown. First thing I did was use brown. And then I'm going to use white. So you've done all these layers of distressed stuff and marks that are supposed to look like wood. And I feel like when you combine them all, it really starts to come together. So I'm just barely touching the canvas. I'm dragging it. If you just put a little thin layer of paint back here on the back of your palette knife, you know, don't just fill it up with gobs of it. Just a little thin layer. It kind of comes out better. And there's really nothing else that's going to give you this look. Because palette knife just kind of, you never know what's coming off of it. Which can be scary for people, but once you get into it, you kind of want to do it on all your paintings. I'm doing this through all the stripes. All right, looking better. They would be great to be cotton balls. You're talking about this up here? Guess you could put cotton balls up there. I never thought about that. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Pat, but we'll figure it out. All right. I might hit this with the dryer real quick because I want to do the same thing with white. And if we don't dry our brown a little bit, then it's going to mix when we start doing that. It probably will anyways, but we can draw it a little bit. All right, good enough. So same deal with white. If you're brave enough, scoot it a little ways. Whoop. Just put it on the back of your brush. Back of your palette knife. And just go to town, which is what they say here, and that just means just have at it, just go for it. I'm really excited about the projects that we have today. We've done this a few times, and not that I haven't liked the projects on the past ones, but I just love every one of the projects. I got a pillow. Said I'm gonna paint that. I got a stencil for Karen. I'm gonna make me one of those. I'm gonna make all these things. I'm excited about it. Not today, but I'll have some time tomorrow. I think I might make a bunch of this stuff tomorrow. I've got family coming in today, so I'm about to go have a cookout with my family some of my family from Boston. So I'm kind of excited. I haven't seen them in a while. So back to palette knifing. I just love it. I just love the way it looks. If you paint an old barn painting, you want to probably do this in it. I don't know. I've even painted flower arrangements before and just kind of threw some of this in it. And it looks pretty cool. And I'll tell you, it does not matter what kind of palette knife you get. I've seen people, trying to sell all this special stuff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's plastic. It doesn't matter the size of it. You can make different marks with different size palette knives, but you're just starting out, just grab you one. You can get them on Amazon or Michael's or wherever. Just try it out and have fun. Okay. Do you like it? Angie said, your family might be late. They're driving back from Boston. Well, that's funny. But they got here at 8 o'clock this morning. They flew here. So actually the problem that I've told my mom was picking them up from the airport at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I told her, because we live near Nashville. We live about 20-30 minutes outside of Nashville. I took my kid to the doctor the other day, which was like pretty close to Nashville, and traffic was epically terrible. And I was like, what is wrong with everybody today? And I got back home and realized that CMA Fest had started. And I was like, oh, that's what it is. Everybody is coming to town for that. So I told her, I said, good luck going to the airport Saturday morning, because traffic is probably going to be bad. But then again, if you're going to go party at CMA Fest, you're probably not up at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? All right, back to painting. Now let's go fix this nonsense over here, because if y'all just tuned in, you're like, what is that? It's going to be flowers, and I'm going to use navy blue, and I'm going to get out this Dutch aqua, which is my favorite turquoise from folk art. I just love it. But if you don't have this, it's just like a turquoise teal, whatever you call that. And then a navy, and then I'm going to use white. Someone said, I love this. I want to paint it on pillows for my pet. That's a good idea. I don't know why I started out more blue. Now I have blue everywhere. It's a good idea to paint it on a pillow. And I'll tell you what I did do while we're chatting. Like Karen was telling me that everybody's been telling me I need to make prints, and I'm like, it's scary. Let's put it under this one. I made stickers, y'all. Isn't that exciting? Oh, that's my husband. I made stickers. They're like 2 inches by 3. I actually put one on my cup. Can you see that? Kind of. But I just put them in my Etsy, their store. They're $3.99. So if you need it, cute little sticker. I'm trying to figure the camera. If you need a cute little sticker, they're pretty cheap, and they're good. They're good, and they turned out good, and I'm really excited about them. So I'm trying this printing thing out, and there's this website called Society 6, and I linked all this stuff on my website. So if you just go to my website, you can see it. And all you have to do is like upload your art, and then you can buy it on different things. Like this is one of my paintings, and I had just uploaded it, and I ordered it on a card. But I could order it on a sticker. I could order it on a cup. I could order it on a fanny pack, all kinds of different things. So I don't have like a bunch of prints at my house, but if you did want something of mine like printed on a thing, you can do that. And that's actually just on my website. But anyway, sorry, I'm excited about that, and I felt like talking about it for a minute. Okay, go back to your medium-sized brush. And I've got the navy and the turquoise and the white out. And I need to speed it up or we're going to run out of time. So here's how I do these flowers, okay? I know I want all 3 of these colors in there. I'm just going to kind of wing it and like jump and put a little bit of if I'm like, that's too blue, let me grab some turquoise. You're going to make little choppy short marks. Let me grab some white and just go around and around each of these circles and fill them in. Go around to the center. I'm not washing my brush out in between anything. I'm just jumping back and forth. And sometimes the first layer doesn't turn out real perfect. Sometimes you just need to let it dry a little bit, and then you can go back with a second layer. So let me get the first layer on here. Just going around in a circle. Just real quick, just kind of laying it down. Let me see if I can probably mess everything up. Hold on. Let's see if I can lower that. Not really. I love technology. Have I told you that lately? Such a struggle. Such a struggle. I'm using that medium-sized brush. Just kind of going around in circles. Filling it up into the middle. Bouncing between white and teal. Not washing my brush out. And just doing that first layer, so we might come back, get it dry a little bit, and then do a second layer. And things will start standing out a little better. And see, we put that green in there, so now none of those white spots are gonna show up, and you'll see what I'm talking about at the end. But the stomach's growling. I need to go eat something after this. Don't they kind of look like flowers already? You can make these flowers with a palette knife too, actually. I think I taught that last time. All right, we got it filled in. Looks flower-ish. I'm gonna dry this. Got about 13 minutes. We can get it done, y'all. All right, good enough. You're just going to go back and do the same thing. So it's really going to stand out this second time. Like if it's too dark, then dip into your white. If it's too white, then dip into your, I don't know, other color, teal. I love the way the teal and the navy kind of mix together. It's such a pretty color. Like you can't see any of that navy. So, like I really think I'm going to do a British flag one of these. Let's see what that looks like. Sometimes it's hard to draw the British flag out. It's pretty like, I don't know, got a lot of angles. All right. I feel like I need some white in it. They're kind of coming off the side a little bit. So, all right, flowers are good for now. Let's wash that brush out. Let's get our smallest brush back out. Now we are going to add some little curly cues. I don't know any other way to describe that. Just kind of make them come out of the bunch of flowers. And now with your lighter green, kind of go back over what you just did and just give it a little bit of highlight over some of those leaves. Like you can paint back over the leaf if you need to kind of mix the color a little bit. When you're doing greenery, it just tends to look better if you give it some dimension, and you can do that with like 2 different colors, 2 different shades of green. All right, it's kind of hard to see, but okay, we are going to use black and this small brush, and we're going to put some centers in these flowers. So just wherever you think the center is, just kind of blob a little. I mean, it's kind of a circle, but really I'm just kind of laying the brush down because the middle of a flower is not perfect. Well, the middle of my flowers are not perfect. Just kind of give it a little something so it has a center. These are kind of coming off the edge, so I'm going to make the center like right there. All right, so they look a little bit more like flowers now, so that's good. And the only other thing that I did, can't see what I'm doing. Okay. Thanks, Hindu. Oh, everything's still wet, so every time I try to pick it up, it slides. Here's what I did. Just wherever you want the center of the flower to be, I just took regular old black paint and my littlest brush and just kind of blobbed a little bit in the middle. So don't stress about that. Just kind of do the best you can. Angie said, I'm using chestnut because I don't have umber. Totally fine, totally fine. I put something on the supply list and then don't have it. I put it a different colors. It doesn't matter. Brown is brown. Unless you're like going a whole different direction, brown is brown. All right, so the last thing that we have to do to this, you're welcome, Samantha, is put these little dots on it, which I kind of think of those as like baby's breath or, I don't know, a teeny tiny flower. And I'm going to use the back of my brush. So let me get this under the camera. Not the brush part, the back of the handle. And I'm going to dip it in white paint and just start adding some dots. Kind of like in the middle, around the edges. You don't want them to look super planned out. You want it to look random and scattered. This might be hard to see too, so I'll hold it up. Got my fan on out here because I can't turn the air conditioner on out here because it's too loud. And so I don't melt My hair is blowing all over the place. You just keep jumping into the white. All right, let me look at it, see if it needs anything else. I think we might be good. Let me try to pick it up. I can show you the white. There's my white dots. Use the back of my brush. Now let me see if I can lay this down without making a giant mess. There we go. Can't see the whole thing. But doesn't that, like, this is wood, this is canvas. I think we did just fine, don't y'all? I think we did just fine. All right, you guys. I got 4 minutes and then we are done. I did want to show you. Oh, I teach paint parties in person and I teach paint parties online, and I do have an online membership which is open. My membership is called the Hometown Creatives. But my next online painting, let me do this. My next online painting is this fun little flamingo. And this is actually Monday. And I think it's $12 is what I'm charging. But you get the tracer, the supply list, and then I'll do like a tutorial like this in a private group, and you can paint your own, which this one's a little more detailed, a little bit more difficult than this one right here. But you can do it. I'll show you how to do it. Thank you. Somebody said it's beautiful. My membership, all my ladies in my membership actually get to do this one on Monday for free, because they pay me $25 a month. It's like a subscription. And in their private group, in the Hometown Creatives group, I teach 3 different tutorials a month. I don't always put a tracer in there. Sometimes I do. I don't know, like the other day we had a big conversation about how to use a liner brush. Like, if you want to learn how to paint and get these tutorials, like, you know, at your house, and it's a fun thing to do. It's a fun little group that I have. I've been doing it for about a year, so there's probably about 40 painting tutorials already in there. And then every month I add 3 more. And then honestly, I've been doing these online painting classes for the public once or twice a month, and you get that. So you get all kinds of painting tutorials. If that's your thing, you get all kinds of painting tutorials. What did Angie say? Do you do something square before you paint flat? I'm not sure what you're saying, Angie. I think there's a typo. What was I talking about? So if you want to find out more about Hometown Creatives or this paint party or anything else, my Etsy shop, that Society 6 shop, any of my stuff is all on my website, which is just www.hometownpaints.com. It's real easy. And that's it, you guys. I'm going to get off here, and then Rebecca is next, and she is with Holy Rustic. Hopefully I got that right. And she's going to do a fun little gnome, like, macrame thing. I don't know. I'm excited about it. But thank y'all for being here. I cannot wait to see what you paint. Please show it and share it and use that hashtag. And hopefully Erica will tell us what that is. Angie said, draw square for flowers before. Not really, Angie. That was supposed to be a circle, but I don't know. Well, we can talk later. Message me and we'll talk. All right. Bye, everybody.